2021. We're going to give it just a few more minutes, just a minute or two, let everybody join in. We got attendees flowing in. My name is Luke Stokes. I'm the Managing Director for the Foundation for Interwallet Operability, and we're today doing our protocol update for December 2021. I'm just going to give it a minute or two, and then we'll get started. Thank you all for joining us today. Appreciate it. All right, we've got quite a bit to cover today, so we're going to go through this pretty quickly, especially the first section where we're giving an overview of FIO Protocol. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The things we're going to cover on the agenda today is an overview of the protocol, including our community, the mission and vision of the token, everything we're doing with Foundation, the role of the protocol itself. We're going to be covering the opportunity and the growth we've covered. We'll also have a special focus on our marketing department. Ash has been doing a fantastic job there, as well as our product team and the different features that we've been rolling out here, which has been pretty exciting. A lot of incredible stuff happening this year. We also want to cover how you can get involved. There's a lot of opportunity for you as the FIO community to get involved and to also tell your friends who might be involved, those who care about usability and things of that nature. And then we are going to try to leave some time for Q&A at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this section in the beginning, I'm going to run through pretty quickly because we kind of assume a lot of you are familiar with the FIO protocol and what it is we're doing. One of the main things we're really excited about is the growing team. As you can see here, we've got a lot of contributors, including all the block producers from around the world, and a lot of active worker proposals. As you know, FIO runs as a decentralized autonomous consortia. The foundation itself, we're going to talk about that a bit later. And that's made up of those with active worker proposals. So we've been growing the team quite a bit on the marketing side, on the biz dev side, as well as on the development side as far as QA and helping out with deployment of our code and the protocol, getting that to the block producers so they can evaluate it and make their decisions as to whether to deploy those features. The FIPS, as we're going to talk about as well, have been expanding because of that growing team. So it's pretty exciting stuff. And again, there's opportunities for you to contribute as well. Our vision is to basically make cryptocurrency easier to use. It's stressful and frustrating without a ubiquitous user experience. So we want to make it less risky, joyful, and we want to do this in a decentralized manner. I think the reason why this is so important to us is if we kind of go the route of just usability and we sacrifice decentralization, we're going to find ourselves in the camp of central bank digital currencies and other different centrally controlled systems, which eventually kind of defeat the whole purpose of cryptocurrency and blockchain. So we're pretty excited to provide an open source, decentralized methodology for having more confidence and security when you send and receive cryptocurrency. Much like the HTTP protocol provided usability for the internet, giving us the World Wide Web and the web browser, we believe the FIO protocol can become that for the blockchain ecosystem. And just like we saw an explosion of user growth, we think FIO protocol can provide that for crypto and blockchain as well. So what is FIO? What is the FIO protocol? If you're not familiar, it is essentially a usability layer. You can call it a layer 2 solution if you like. It's a way to kind of lead up to the normal sending and receiving of transactions on a blockchain. We're a wallet layer solution. And what we mean by that is we don't actually directly talk to a blockchain directly. So there's no integration point between FIO protocol and a blockchain. It's a really important concept that bears repeating because it gets a little confusing sometimes. We just are integrated into the user experience. Wherever a user puts in a public key, a native blockchain public address, we can replace that with a nice human readable address like Luke at Stokes. And that's what we provide as that usability solution integrated into the wallets, exchanges, NFT platforms, gaming platforms. And we are a delegated proof of stake chain that launched last year in March. So we've been around for a little bit now, running very well. We run on an EOS.io code base, which is highly performant and been modified for usability. We're made up of two major pieces, which are both NFTs. You got your domain NFT and your username NFT. Together, those provide what we call a FIO crypto handle. And you can request payments that are encrypted with a memo. And you can also include FIO data. That's that memo part, linking out to an order card, invoice, things of that nature. And this year, we've added another major feature, which is the ability to sign your NFTs. So a lot of fraud in the NFT space where people are claiming to be the author of an NFT piece of art when they haven't actually created it. So we have a way to get around that, just like you have human readable signatures on your physical art. And so there are other competitors in the space that are doing wallet naming, human readable wallet naming. They're also doing other things that we're not doing, such as decentralized DNS. But we do additional things such as the payment request, like we mentioned. We have a tokenized ecosystem. So those with the token can participate in the decentralized business model. We have that cross-chain metadata we discussed, privacy enhancing features, such as the FIO request, which is encrypted between the two parties. And again, the NFT forgery. We have a lot of other things that we're looking to do in the future, such as social key recovery, multi-sig, making that a simple process, and also verified FIO addresses, similar to NFT signatures, but a way that you can know provably that Luke Stokes is actually me, different interesting identity things of that nature as well. So there's a lot of opportunity we have by being a little bit separate from the other wallet naming solutions and adding a little more functionality. I'm going to turn it over to David to talk a little bit about the token and how it works in our ecosystem. So David Gold, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Luke. I'm David Gold, one of the conceptual co-founders of the FIO Protocol. So let me just jump right in here on the FIO token, just at a high level to make sure everybody understands what the purpose of the FIO token is. It is at its core a utility token. It pays for fees on the FIO protocol chain. So similar to how Ethereum is used to pay gas fees on Ethereum, FIO is paid to take actions on the FIO blockchain, register a FIO domain, register a FIO crypto handle, send FIO tokens, sign an NFT with our new NFT functionality that we'll demo later in this presentation. So pay all those different types of fees. One of the many innovations the FIO protocol has is the ability to have bundled transactions. So users don't always have to deal with paying a FIO token charge every single time. When they register a FIO crypto handle, the cost of registering that crypto handle comes with a large number of bundled transactions that just get debited down, making FIO very user-friendly and easy to use. The token is also used for governance. Voting for block producers in a delegated proof-of-stake chain is key. And also in straw polls for the foundation board of directors. Now, as we'll be talking about later in the presentation, FIO token holders also have the opportunity to participate in the economics of the platform through staking and voting of their tokens. They will be able to stake and earn token rewards, and those token rewards are ultimately correlated to the economic input of the FIO protocol system. So the basic economics of the FIO token is as token fees come into the blockchain, they are divided up by the blockchain code. 60% goes to block producers as soon as staking goes live, which is very soon, and we'll talk more about that later. 25% goes to the pool of staked tokens. 10% goes to the integrator, the wallet, the exchange, et cetera, the crypto payment processor that integrated the protocol and where that user initiated from. Those integrators actually are getting a bonus of an additional 40% directly from the chain code for a period of time that has a limit on it, but they are still receiving that early adopter bonus. And then the last 5% goes to fund the Foundation for Interwallet Operability and its operations. So the foundation itself is a nonprofit entity. It has no shareholders. It has never raised money. It's never done an ICO or an IEO. Its sole purpose is to advance adoption of the FIO protocol. It operates as a decentralized autonomous consortia. The board of the foundation largely comes from the crypto industry. So great representatives from major wallet companies that are on the board of the foundation and are key contributors to the direction and the strategy of this project. As I mentioned earlier, the board is selected via a straw poll of FIO token holders. And so all token holders can actually vote for who they'd like to see on the foundation board. And an individual has to get a sufficient number of votes from token holders to even be considered for the foundation board. On the financial side, happy to report that the foundation continues to be in a very strong financial position. It has approaching $20 million at the end of Q3 of assets. The foundation does operate in completely in a crypto and blockchain environment. It holds no fiat currencies whatsoever. It has no bank accounts. All the community workers are paid in crypto, typically either a combination of Tether and FIO tokens, and the foundation has really no debt of any kind. On a P&L standpoint, the foundation receives income again from the FIO blockchain, and it continues to do very well, and is operating with a very long lifeline, going out now 3 years or more if on its current roadmap, with no additional income. So it has a very, very long lifeline, and that lifeline has continued to get longer as we've gone on over the past 12 months, not shorter. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Ash, who heads up marketing for the FIO protocol, to talk about the market opportunity and what's going on also in the marketing world for FIO. Take it away, Ash.
Thanks, David. Yep, I'm Ash Howe, head of marketing. Nice to meet you guys. So I'd say that positive financials are a very exciting win to call out, and they're especially exciting to acknowledge when we take a step back to reflect on how FIO's mission ties through to our market opportunity. So the key takeaway here is that we're working to build FIO protocol with a single goal of that blockchain agnosticism in mind, which means we're not beholden to the roadmap or development of any single layer one solution. Because we have our own blockchain, because we built that blockchain to function as an interoperable usability layer, our market opportunity is tied to the ever-growing transaction volume across all blockchains, both those that currently exist and also those that will exist in the future. So that's really exciting. And that market opportunity, we're starting to see that in our numbers. So we're quickly approaching the 500,000 mark for unique FIO crypto handle registrations. And we've recently surpassed 10,000 or so unique domain registrations. In terms of community expansion and engagement, we're just shy of 80,000 followers on Twitter, which is our most engaged community. And we've been able to build strong followings as well across Telegram, Discord, and YouTube. Even further, our ecosystem of integration partners is really rapidly expanding. So we've recently surpassed 35 exchanges, wallets, payment processors, NFT marketplaces that have either already integrated or in the process of integrating FIO protocol. And amongst those are some pretty large names like EdgeWallet, Bitcoin.com. And then, behind all of this, driving all of this is a burgeoning community of really passionate people who believe in the FIO protocol and the FIO mission. So we have 36 block producers, more than 60 active community contributors, all helping to drive, the actualization of improvement proposals through to actually bringing better usability to market. And this is just a quick snapshot of some of our integrated or our integration partners, either already integrated or in the process of integrating. You can view this full list at fioprotocol.io/ecosystem if you're interested. Perfect, which is a really great segue into how we are working to capitalize on that market opportunity via the building of a strong marketing function. So I'd like to walk us through some of our objectives and some of the initiatives behind our marketing strategy.
It's been a little poke.
No problem. All right, so a lot has been happening with FIO marketing over the last 6 months. I think the best kind of starting point here is to recap our top level primary objectives. So our overarching goal is, of course, to bring FIO and our vision to market, one that focuses on driving global adoption of FIO protocol through market education. So in order to successfully execute against that goal, we're focusing on 3 key areas: building brand awareness amongst our target audience, which fortunately for us is pretty much anyone who uses crypto or might use crypto in the future. Driving that awareness through to new user acquisition, which equates to new FIO crypto handle registrations. That's how we measure it. And then building post-registration retention via utilization campaigns. So building out utilization campaigns to incentivize real protocol usage amongst our users is a way to help them internalize and also build out the habit of incorporating FIO protocol into their everyday life. So this execution can only be achieved with a proper marketing team. So building out this team has been a really large key area of focus over the last 6 months. We are very fortunate to have a highly talented community and fortunate to be able to source from that talented community to fill the functional marketing needs that we have in a decentralized way. And you can see those functional roles here. So at this point, we have a team of 7 community contributors who help build, deliver, and manage what is amounting to be a rapidly growing marketing program. And this, all this work is of course in cohort with biz dev, account management, and product. So in terms of the actual strategy, our marketing program, we've designed it to meet our potential users effectively where they are. So what that means is we have implemented a classic PISO strategy, which stands for paid, earned, shared, and owned. This is an approach that facilitates the delivery of integrated marketing campaigns across media and public relations in a single cohesive fashion. So what this does is this strategy offers us the ability to execute across the full marketing funnel, all the way up at the top, building brand awareness, down through actually driving protocol utilization and user retention. And it gives us the ability to amplify our brand reach across all pertinent marketing channels. I'd say the best way to kind of think about this is from a standpoint of how we're working to drive FIO protocol growth by expanding communications through to all of the different platforms that our users and potential users engage with on a daily basis. At the end of the day, our dev teams built a really great protocol, and this strategy is designed to make sure that people know about it. And okay, so as kind of a last piece here, we wanted to share some of our recent event activity. Events were a pretty large area of investment in Q3, Q4. In-person events are starting to reopen. They've been a really great way for us to engage directly with the community. And you can see the handful of events that we've sponsored here over the last few months. Luke, David, and Wayne have been especially invaluable community resources in helping us present our mission to sizable, relevant, and really receptive audiences. And the increased engagement that we've actually seen correlating to these event sponsorships across social and community, those results have been really encouraging. And final slide here, just some photos from some of these events. They may be a little too small to see, but I'll drop a link to one of our recent blog posts in the chat, and you can check them out there if you're interested. And that, I believe, is it for marketing. So I'll hand it over to Pawel to talk through product development updates.
And as Pawel's taken over here, just we didn't actually mention at the beginning, you're certainly welcome to put in questions into the Q&A, and we will get to those after the presentation.
Thanks, Ash. Thanks, David. My name is Pawel Mastalerz. I'm one of the conceptual co-founders of the FIO Protocol, focusing on product. So we have lots of exciting stuff to cover. We've been pretty busy since the last update. We've basically completed 17 different what we call internally initiatives. We have 9 FIPs that were launched. FIPs basically stand for FIO Improvement Proposal, which are basically modifications to the chain that anyone out there can submit or work on and eventually gets incorporated into the code. We have 8 new FIPs that are drafted and being considered right now. We fixed a lot of bugs, a lot of stories and epics on the development side. We had 9 releases of the software, build lots of new test cases. So we continue to enhance our test capabilities, done 4 contract audits, and there's a lot of things that are currently underway, and I'll talk about those here in a second. So what have we accomplished in the last 6 months is FIP 11 allows users to purchase bundle transactions. So David mentioned that a lot of the FIO crypto handles, all of the FIO crypto handles basically come with bundle transactions, which allow for interaction with the chain without having to pay fees. So we're kind of focusing more on that, especially since we've actually retired the FIO crypto handle expiration, which I think is big news to anybody on this call. This is our FIP 31. So anybody that's holding a FIO crypto handle, you'll be glad to know that it no longer expires. So previously, those FIO crypto handles were valid for 1 year. and you had to renew them every year to keep them active. We've listened to the feedback from the community that is not the best idea, and we decided to basically get rid of the expiration component altogether. So once you acquire a FIO address today, it's yours for life. You may still have to purchase the bundle transactions. That's where the FIP 11 comes in. But generally, you get to keep it, which I think is great news for everybody that has a FIO crypto handle. FIP 13, ability to remove public address, multiple public addresses. This is one of those enhancements for our integrators to make things easier. FIP 15, and that's a big one that really a shout out to the entire community to kind of keep talking about it, because I think this is a very big feature, if you will, standard that we're promoting for the entire crypto ecosystem. So we basically found that the industry has been struggling with trying to figure out how to systematically call a particular blockchain or particular token on that blockchain. And that's obviously very important for usability, to make sure that users are, when they're sending and receiving or requesting cryptocurrencies, that they're talking about the same token. So obviously FIO request and FIO send relies on that, but FIP 15 specifically is really intended to kind of promote a standard to be used by everybody. So even if you're not integrating FIO, and encourage everybody to kind of look at that, it just basically gives you what is the code for every chain and what is the code for every token on that chain. FIP 16 is Clio enhancements. Clio is a tool that we use internally for development purposes primarily. And we kind of made some enhancements to that. FIP 19, ability to retrieve all received FIO requests. Again, this is one of those usability improvements for the integrator, so that they make it fetching of the request easier. And so is FIP 25, returning bundle transaction count in FIO names. FIP 27, and these are kind of some of the big things that we have released that will actually show here in a second as well. FIP 27 adds the ability to sign NFTs using your FIO address. So this has been a big focus of ours the last few months, and we've actually launched that in partnership with Unique One, which is an NFT exchange. And it basically extends the concept that we had when we launched initially, which is the ability to add public addresses to FIO crypto handles. This basically extends that concept to an NFT. So you can sign an NFT using your FIO address. You effectively map it to your FIO crypto handle, and then you get to basically prove that whoever owns that particular FIO crypto handle attests that they are the ones who've created the NFT. Dashboard is another big feature that we have been working on. I'll talk a little bit about, we've released a kind of a beta initial 0.9 release that focuses primarily on NFT signatures, and we'll demo that here in a second. And we're working on a much bigger dashboard release that I'll talk about in a second. Cover the expiration, and the last one here is the beta version of Ledger. This is something that might be interesting to the community, that we have developed a Ledger FIO app, so that you can actually store your FIO tokens on a Ledger device and have that work with hopefully a variety of wallets as this becomes available. It's been submitted to Ledger for approval, hasn't been approved yet. It's just been really submitted like last week. So hopefully it will get approved, and the first implementation of that will be on our dashboard. And I'll talk about that in a second. So what are some of the initiatives we're working on right now that are coming soon? Wrapping. So that's a big one for us, is basically focusing on that for the last few months as well. And I'll dive into those here in a little bit, but basically getting the FIO token or the FIO domain NFT over to different chains. FIO staking, I think David alluded to that a little bit. I'll cover that in depth here as well. We are launching staking come January, and will basically allow all the FIO token holders to participate in governance and earn rewards. FIO Domain Marketplace, it's basically one of the projects that has been headed up by some of the community members. And it's basically going to allow people to list their FIO domains for sale or buy FIO domains from others, all natively on the FIO chain without having to move your domain to another chain. P-network support, again, this is another version of FIO token wrapping. That's through partnership with P-network. That's in the works. And also unlimited FIO request size and also record OBT transaction that's coming. That's primarily being done to support Lightning Network. We are hoping that, obviously, for those of you that don't know, Lightning operates in requests. So rather than using a public address construct like most other blockchains do, Lightning actually generates this payment request. So FIO request is a perfect mechanism to transport that between users. But we needed to make some changes in order to support that, and those are coming shortly. Dashboard, another major release of the dashboard. We'll kind of talk a little bit about dashboard here in a second. FIO 4.0, which is basically a collection of all sorts of major enhancements to our software in terms of stability, performance, upgrades to the latest versions of EOS.io Core. That we're currently focusing on and hopefully be rolling out in the next couple of months. There's also a new FIO website that's in the works that's coming. And David, you're kind of rushing me here, so I'll keep going. FIO staking is, so what is FIO staking? That's basically a big release that's coming here in January. Why are we doing this? We basically want to reward token holders who participate in governance. Governance obviously is very important in a delegated proof of stake blockchain. How is it going to work? Users basically will have to first vote proxy or out of proxy. And for those of you that don't know how out of proxy works, it's actually a way to automatically delegate your tokens to a proxy when you use the FIO functionality inside a wallet. So some wallets, one of the earlier wallets that's going to be integrating FIO staking is going to be Edge. And that's actually how they're going to support that, is your tokens are, if you don't vote yourself, which you're obviously encouraged to do, will be automatically proxied to the Edge wallet. And you can stake and unstake any amount of FIO tokens you have in your account. And basically, once you stake, rewards are being accrued. Once you unstake, the rewards are being sent to your account. And the tokens are locked for 7 days after you unstake. So you kind of have to plan a week ahead if you when you want to have access to your funds, unstake, and you get the rewards that have been accrued. Where do the rewards come from? No new tokens are being issued, so the token economic model is not changing. Still the same number of tokens that have been allocated at mainnet remains. 25% of the fee collected from every transaction is going to be redirected to a rewards pool. And then also, in addition to that, 25,000 FIO will be minted daily up to 25 million reserve. And that reserve is actually being reallocated by the foundation. So again, no new tokens issued. The foundation is taking some of its allocations and moving it into the rewards bucket. And that's going to be happening in January, mainnet launch. And then in 2022, which is towards the end of February, is when it's going to be activated. So from the time it gets launched on mainnet, beginning of January, you can stake, but you won't be able to get the reward unless you unstake after the activation, which is 22nd of February. FIO token and domain wrapping. Mentioned a little bit about that. We're basically building a fully decentralized model of oracles and custodians, which is not actually very common in the blockchain industry. So this is actually a huge accomplishment, and kudos to our development team and the block producer community stepping up. But how's it going to work? On the FIO token side, you will be able to lock your tokens in an Oracle contract. And what's going to happen is we're going to mint them on the Ethereum side. Initially, it's going to be an ERC20 WFIO token that will then be available, obviously, on the Ethereum side. In the future, we plan to support other chains as well. And then when you unwrap, you're basically going to burn the WFIO and get your FIO unlocked on the FIO chain. We also plan to support some of the decentralized exchanges such as Uniswap. So it basically is just going to make the token more broadly available. Domain, we're basically going to allow for the FIO domain NFT to be again locked in the Oracle contract, and then we'll mint it on the Polygon network. So it's a layer 2 to Ethereum. The reason we chose Polygon is because we want to make sure the fees are the gas fees are reasonable. So if somebody's moving a domain, we don't want to be paying $200, $300 for it. So that's why we chose Polygon. And again, we're going to mint it on the Polygon. You can then use it. Polygon is supported by OpenSea. So if you want to list your domain on OpenSea, you can do that. And then when you move it back, it'll be burned on the Ethereum side and unlocked on the FIO side. FIO dashboard. So that's, you've heard this mentioned a few times today. What is FIO dashboard and why are we building it? It's basically a web-based application with secure FIO private key storage and full protocol support. So obviously up until now, if you wanted to use FIO, you had to primarily go and pick one of the wallets that have integrated FIO. And not all of them had all the functionality. Not all of them had ability to register a domain or make the domain public and things like that. So the FIO dashboard is going to be a place where you can go and actually have access to all of the FIO functionality to manage your addresses, your domains, your crypto handles, mappings, FIO requests, everything. And it will actually securely store your FIO private key. It will use a very easy to access username and password construct. So rather than talking through all of it, let's do a quick demo.
Let's see if I can get this teed up here. Okay. Put this on full screen.
Hey folks, this is GB from FIO. I wanted to take a minute to demo the FIO dashboard and show you guys we're building. 0.9 beta has been launched with the 1.0 release coming in Q1 of 2022. For those of you not familiar with the dashboard, it's a web-based application with secure FIO private key storage and full FIO protocol supports. Some of its core features are easy account creation, managing multiple FIO wallets, FIO tokens send and receive, FIO crypto handle management, domain management, and FIO request to send, receive, or reject any token. So let's get into the application. When you land on the dashboard page, you're going to see three primary actions. Find and get a FIO crypto handle, which is super easy. Simply enter a username, select a domain, and check out. I'll demo this once logged in as an account creation is part of getting a handle as a first-time user. It has a few extra steps. As a side note, it currently refers to FIO address. That is being changed to FIO crypto handle to address potential confusion around the term address. There's also create an account and log in. So let's just take a look at the dashboard itself. There are really two problems the FIO dashboard solves for. As a user, I have a wallet or interact with an exchange that's not FIO enabled, but want to use a FIO crypto handle. This solves for that, as well as being able to access a variety of features that a wallet or exchange is not going to contain or support. Examples of that would be things like voting, signing NFTs, or actual handle management. So on the dashboard, you're going to see your initial wallet, your handles, if you have any, as well as the ability to register handles and domains, and then top level navigation for handle, domain, token management, and interaction. So let's take a look at how easy it is to create a FIO crypto handle. It's pretty straightforward. You enter username, select a domain, and check out. So we will enter a username, select a domain, and check out. It's really that simple. So once that processes, it will take you back to the dashboard. And you'll have your address here ready to use. Domain registration works the same way as that. I'm not going to walk through it, but it's the same card. And both addresses and domains also feature deeper functionality, such as for an address, it's managing the NFT signature, or being able to actually transfer things like that currently in this .9 beta. Both addresses and domains have the ability for renewal addresses, mapping of to public addresses, and then setting domains to public or private as well. So let's take a look at wallets briefly. We do create an initial wallet, but you can also create additional wallets as well. Those wallets can be created as standard fair web wallets, or also linked to a ledger device, so that you can hold your private keys in your hardware. You can also import them via private key or seed phrase as well. So that's wallets. Just to touch on the 1.0 release, we will also be bringing online the actual mapping of public addresses, the send, receive, and reject via request functionality, and so that the crypto handles can be used in wallets or exchanges that are not FIO integrated at this point. And more come on that later. And thanks for your time.
So yeah, just as I'm getting back to the presentation here, the FIO dashboard is really cool because it allows at the high level, two key things. It allows people who have a wallet or exchange that is not yet FIO enabled, but want to access FIO functionality to do that. And then it allows access to capabilities that wallets and exchanges aren't likely to enable, or will allow that access in the future, such as NFT signatures, the ability to vote tokens and things like that that'll be in the dashboard in the future. So it's a really powerful tool that will help expand the adoption of the FIO protocol.
David, NFT video is next, so you can play that.
Okay, great. It says there's the next one. Good. I'll go straight to that. So we're going to do a demo now of the NFT signatures that we've talked about a few times here. It's just a lot easier to see it. And so we'll have Blockchain Wayne from the FIO community do this demo here.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Crypto Coach Blockchain Wayne. I want to talk to you in this video about FIO NFT signatures. But first, let's talk about NFTs. NFTs have seen a huge growth in popularity and awareness, with many artists, creators, and brands creating NFTs to showcase their work. In some cases, those are sold for millions of dollars. The problem, NFT forgery, stolen images and files meant to replicate the original NFT or the original NFT artist. Then it's sold to unsuspecting buyers. Now, verifying the authenticity of NFTs has been hard to do due to anonymous public wallet addresses, but FIO NFT signatures solves that problem. It proves authorship, it stops scammers, and it protects buyers. It's a blockchain-based, decentralized solution that works with NFTs created on any blockchain. Artists and creators are able to sign the NFT with their FIO crypto handle. They can then make that FIO crypto handle known by socializing, sharing it on their websites, verified social media accounts, so people know that that FIO crypto handle is tied to that particular person. What is a FIO crypto handle? It is a human-readable crypto address that replaces that long-string public address. It's in the format of username at domain. So if Leonardo da Vinci was alive today, he could create one that was Leonardo at da Vinci. For this demo purposes, I'm going to use my personal one, Blockchain Wayne at Unique1. That is my FIO crypto handle I'm going to use to sign NFTs. When NFTs are minted, a simple signing process linked to authentic NFT to the artist or creator. And also, many buyers don't realize that the image or video, whatever is associated with that NFT that you're buying, is not stored on the blockchain in most cases. So if it's stored on a web server and was ever changed or deleted prior to FIO NFT signatures, the owner had no way to prove what they had bought. FIO NFT signature stores a cryptographic hash of that off-chain data, thereby protecting the permanence of that data, such as the image, and securing the value of the NFT for the owner. Let's head on over to the Unique1 platform, and I'll show you how that works. All right, so here we are on the Unique1 platform. Now, the Unique1 platform is just one of the marketplaces that you can utilize FIO NFT signatures for. Also, very soon in the future, we'll be able to go to the FIO dashboard and sign NFTs minted on any platform. But for this demo, we're going to show you how to do it on Unique One. We're going to go to the Polygon Marketplace. And my wallet's already connected to the marketplace. So I will utilize that there. I'm going to hit create. And then I will hit single. I want to make one. I'm going to choose the file. For this particular one, I'm going to utilize the video file. And I'm going to name my artwork. And I'm going to put a little bit of a description here. And then I'm going to select the category. Now, it's going to be art, collectibles. In this case, I'm going to select memes. And we're going to hit create. And right now it's uploading my file, getting it ready for the minting process. All right, that's done. So now I'm going to mint the token. I'm going to approve that minting process in my MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet you have linked to do that with. Confirm it. Okay, and now I'm going to sign the NFT. It's going to take me over to the FIO dashboard. Now, for this demo purposes, I'm going to use Blockchain Wayne at Unique One as my signature. You can see it right here. You can see all the information on the NFT itself. And I just hit sign NFT. I'm going to put in my PIN code to verify that it's me. And I confirm that transaction. All right, my NFT is signed. You should see all the information there. All of that data is there. Okay, here I am back on the Unique One platform. I'm going to show you what I just created and signed. I'm going to go to my dashboard and pull up my most recent creation. And right on the screen behind me, you'll be able to see all the information about that NFT, including my FIO crypto handle NFT signature signed by Blockchain Wayne at Unique One. Now, anyone will be able to verify the authenticity of an NFT signature by going to any FIO-enabled NFT marketplace. There's also a FIO NFT verification page coming soon you'll be able to utilize for any NFT marketplace or to verify any NFT. So that's it for FIO NFT signatures. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Here's how you can instantly brush and whiten your...
And of course, we get the ad that pops in. All right.
All right, well, thanks, GP, and thanks, Wayne. Here's kind of a look at some of the other areas of exploration that we started to think about. And if you were interested in any one of those feedback, we encourage you to reach out. We've been thinking about how FIO crypto handles can be used in gaming or FIO protocol in general. Kind of initially think that FIO crypto handle could be a perfect gaming username inside the different games. And of course, sending funds and assets to from games would also be a great fit for the FIO protocol. So we're kind of exploring that area. Verified FIO crypto handles. I think David touched on this a little bit. It's been on our roadmap for a while. We're kind of getting closer to spending more time and energy in trying to figure out, how that will work. So hopefully some ideas coming soon. Request for signature. This is another one that's been out there for a little bit, gathering community feedback, but we do have some interest in that recently that perhaps is going to take it forward, which is the ability to use FIO protocol to facilitate signing of smart contract transactions as opposed to just sending and receiving crypto. And push notification infrastructure is also something that we're kind of gathering community feedback right now. So if you're using FIO protocol and you're interested in enabling push notifications, we would love to chat with you and try to see what's the best way to make your life easier and potentially develop that functionality. But what I think it's worth mentioning is that we are obviously a decentralized, autonomous consortia, like we've mentioned. We operate very transparently. Everything we do is out there on the internet, available to everybody. FIOprotocol.atlassian.net is where you will find all that information. So I encourage you to go and check out what's out there. What you will see in there is this whole FIP process, the FIO improvement proposal that I have described. In terms of how it works, who can submit it, who can work on it, how do we decide things. You can vote on all the ideas and the functionality that's being considered is all listed, and you can see what the foundation is currently funding, and you can influence that. So you make sure your voice is heard. If you have ideas, or if you are really passionate about any specific functionality that you think FIO should be working on, bring it to the community. There are actually specific opportunities out there right now, and I've listed them here, and they're changing. So what an opportunity is basically saying, hey, the foundation is willing to actually pay for this. If there's somebody out there in the community that is willing to take this on, they should come in, submit a worker proposal, and talk to the foundation, and chances are you will receive funds to make this happen. So those opportunities that are currently open is integrate FIO protocol inside a game. If you have a game, if you know of a game, you want to build a very simple game where FIO protocol is used, come and talk to us, and the foundation is likely going to be able to fund this. Technical FIO protocol integration lead is another opportunity out there if you want to help with the integration support. FIO request splitting, enable DeFi interactions using FIO protocol, creating FIO protocol WordPress plugin for WooCommerce. So you can see that there is a lot of things out there that we're currently looking for people to come in and help us build. So encourage everybody to come and check those things out, talk to us on all of the social media channels, or reach out in any way, and we welcome your feedback. With that, I'll hand it back to David.
Yeah, so thank you all for being here today. I mean, the project continues to make great progress and grow, and the community is certainly, as we said at the beginning, for those of you who came in late, the community workers have grown significantly over the last 6 months and the last year. It does make it challenging from a time zone perspective. There are a few FIO community workers in lots of different time zones across the globe. Makes for some fun times when you're trying to have a group meeting on a certain topic. But we're really excited about the progress. And, I think everybody in the FIO community has viewed what we're doing as critical to the ecosystem and enabling adoption of blockchain and crypto. And all of us view this very much as, this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a long-term endeavor. And we're really excited about the progress we're making, the new features and functionalities that we've demoed for you here, and the stuff that'll be coming down the pipeline here in the future from the community. So with that, we'll turn it over to Q&A. Luke, if you can sort of tee those up if we have any questions there.
Yeah, thank you, David. We've actually had a number of good questions. Really appreciate that. And let's see, there's a couple marketing questions, which I think I'll leave for Ash to answer. I've answered a few that came up. Thank you, High Five Software and Sterling Long, and also MSPY. I appreciate that. I'll highlight one, which I think is interesting as far as wrap tokens. So we kind of talked about that a little bit in the presentation, but I want to highlight it even again, just how important it is to kind of go where the people are. We've mentioned that as one of our strategies. FIO is kind of breaking the walled garden siloed mentality of a lot of cryptocurrency communities where they just want to work within their token or their app or their community, their exchange. And FIO Protocol, as the foundation for inter-wallet operability, really wants to transcend that and enable different communities to start working together and thinking about themselves as being on the same team. I say often we only got about less than 4% of the world is in crypto today, and that's going to change very rapidly in the next few years with 1 billion users coming to crypto, and they're all going to be in their own little silos. So the ability to wrap FIO assets, not just the domains, which is a big part of the NFT marketplace economy, but also the tokens themselves, so that someone in their native environment can go ahead and enable themselves to get a token, easily move it back into the FIO native environment through our bridging, which again is a multi-sig bridge that is decentralized. We're pretty excited about that. That's why it's taken a while to develop, is when we research all the other token wrapping and asset wrapping protocols out there, most of them rely on a central entity that you have to trust beyond the trust of your chain itself. And what we've done is taken the block producers who the token holders already trust and enabled them to be on the multi-sig. So we have a custodial model where they elect the what we call oracles, and those are on a multi-sig for wrapping and unwrapping. So there's a high level of trust for the people who trust the actual chain operators themselves, those block producers that are elected by the token holders, who are also going to be running our bridge. So very excited about that project. Again, it's taken longer than we expected to get developed because we're doing it right. And it's probably going to be a model others look to and get excited about. And that way, when you're moving assets into the local communities where they exist on whatever chain they like to be on, you're going to have that confidence that those assets aren't going to be easily hackable, or that there's going to be a bridge failure because the people running the bridge are the same people you already trust on the native chain of FIO. So thank you for that. It's a great question. And I think Ash has already answered a couple of questions. I don't know, Ash, if you want to jump in on those and answer them live as well, but really appreciate the questions we've got in there. I guess I'll cover another one as well as far as the FIO domains. Those do currently require a renewal fee. And the reason for that is we want to prevent squatting. We don't want people to be buying up a whole bunch of domains and not having them ever be used and trying to sell them for very high rates on the marketplace. We want the FIO domains to be actively used. And so having a marketplace where people can trade those is important, but also having the ability to ensure if someone's not getting use out of them, they're not going to keep continuing to pay those renewal fees forever. So that's another reason why we felt it's important to have that still have an expiration date. Now, that said, again, just like we did with FIO addresses, we're open to all feedback from the community. The FIO improvement proposal process is very open. Anyone can submit a proposal. Anyone can argue for it. The block producers who actually deploy the code are obviously the decision makers of improvements, and they're actively involved in that process as well. So we encourage you, any features or changes or adjustments you feel can help improve the protocol, let us know, and we're super open to it.
Ash, if there were a couple of marketing questions, I think it would be good for you to state those questions and answer them verbally so they're on the recording.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the questions was, do we have a specific marketing plan for our NFT signatures? And the answer is we do. So we've been testing an I'm not sure if I should say it, but I've written it out, Unfuck Your NFTs effectively campaign, largely, I didn't realize that would be so difficult to say live on Zoom, but largely at events. So NFT NYC was actually a really great example of the initial test of this campaign. And we will be expanding that campaign across our digital channels soon, now that our NFT signatures are live in the dashboard, signature and validation. I will say reception has been phenomenal so far. So people are just, really engaged by the messaging that we've been testing, which is incredibly exciting. In addition to that, we've been working to pull together, actually, and I failed to mention the second one, 2 different NFT artist grant programs. One of those is, a grant program to help incentivize larger NFT artists to get involved with our NFT signature product. And the second program will be looking to partner with potentially smaller, but still very eager, enthusiastic NFT creators to help onboard them to our NFT signatures, and then also, incentivize co-promotion, both across, our audience and their audience. So those are just some of the things that are kind of coming down the pipe.
There's also a question about central marketing to Central and South America. Luke, you might talk, just highlight a little bit a couple of your trips. So there, certainly Central and South America, FIO is a global solution, and there's a lot going on in Central America in particular. Luke, I don't know if you want to comment on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd love to chat about that. I had the privilege of being able to go to El Salvador, Honduras, and Panama with Brock Pierce and a delegation of different crypto entities, crypto personalities, people that are involved in everything from exchanges to ATMs and all things in between. And in that, it's very clear that Central America is an incredibly key growing area for cryptocurrency. As you all know, El Salvador enabled Bitcoin as a legal tender. So we're actively in communication with different people in those areas, talking about usability, talking about the importance of FIO Protocol. I was able to present to governments about the FIO Protocol, which is pretty exciting. And they definitely are interested in the usability as they're trying to figure out kind of how they promote this to their everyday citizens. So a big part of that is continuing those conversations, continuing to participate in those activities on those trips, and being able to explain that in order to make this usable, this whole cryptocurrency evolution and revolution that's coming, we have to actually think about usability because a lot of users coming into crypto, they're not going to put up with the level of complexity that the early adopters, early innovators are dealing with. A lot of the tools in the space today are kind of engineers building tools for other engineers. And we want to get to the point where this is cryptocurrency is openly accessible and has financial inclusion for everyone. And so that's why those areas in particular are excited about what we're doing and interested in learning more. So those are kind of long-term conversations that we're continuing to be a part of. And it's very nice to say, oh yeah, I've talked to these governments. So people are more interested to hear about what we have to say and how it impacts their citizens in those areas. But also for example, just got off a call this week with some interesting stuff going on in Ghana. And there's some people very excited. As we mentioned, we did a presentation there as well. And all over in the developing areas, this is where I think the major amount of growth is going to come. It's not the people in crypto today. Mathematically, they're the most significant. It's those that are coming into crypto in the next 3 to 5 years. And I do think those are going to come from developing nations like Central and South America, as well as throughout Africa and other developing nations. I wanted to touch on another question that I didn't answer verbally, but it was a great question by MSPY about multi-wallet sending. Is a feature. At first, I didn't quite understand what was meant by that, but an example was then given in chat about Disperse app as an example. We can send to multiple cryptocurrency addresses simultaneously with a user interface that's easy to use. We do have an idea of FIO request splitting. So the idea, for example, you come in and pay your bill at a restaurant, and it would automatically be able to split between the different people at the table. That would be kind of an interesting way. So the payment would be distributed and each person could pay their own amount. It's somewhat related to being able to do this. But that is something that is an interesting request and is a great example of where anyone can go to our Atlassian tools under Confluence and Jira, and you can submit an initiative request. You can say, hey, I would like this idea to be considered by the steering committee and by the FIO board to say, hey, would you support the development of, for example, a script or a tool that enables me to send, for example, if I run a community, have them all get FIO addresses and then be able to send tokens to everyone in that community. It's definitely a great idea. I'd love to see that fleshed out a little bit more. And we would love to support that as a foundation according to our budget and the steering committee as well.
I think it's worth also verbally answering the question about, what does wrapping of tokens and domains enable for FIO? And FIO, as we've said at the beginning of the presentation and throughout, is certainly very focused on being a decentralized, self-sovereign protocol. We're very supportive of that core concept of the blockchain ecosystem. So by wrapping FIO tokens and domains, it enables the FIO token and FIO domains to operate on other decentralized platforms for trading domains and moving tokens around. So that's the core reason for wrapping the tokens and domains, so that those elements, those NFTs, can actually participate in those decentralized DeFi platforms.
Also, too, there's another question about kind of our plan to list on other exchanges. As we mentioned, the team has been growing significantly. We've specifically in the biz dev area, which has been really exciting. We have a lot of open conversations, a lot of MOUs. And one of the things that's interesting, as most projects that are doing well and have been around and been successful, they get approached by listing advisors often to say, hey, we'd love for you to support listing the token with our exchange. And we're always having those conversations. But one thing that's a little bit interesting and a little bit different about what we do is we also communicate the utility value of the protocol itself, meaning listing is interesting, but what's even more interesting is that your users on your exchange can get themselves a FIO address, give the ability to use FIO as part of that experience for withdrawing and depositing to the exchange. And we've started in the last 6 months clarifying that ask to just be FIO send, which is a very simple integration. So if you've got friends in the ecosystem that work at exchanges, this is something they can do very easily. It's half a day worth of work, is about 12 hours worth of development time, including testing, to just wherever you accept a FIO or a native public blockchain address. Instead, you can accept a FIO crypto handle. So if I want to withdraw tokens, let's say to a Bitcoin address, I can put in Luke at Stokes. It would pull the Bitcoin address and be able to do the send. So our strategy isn't just about listings, but it's also about listings and integration. And I think that so far that's been a great plan. And as far as the plan for that, we do offer, the foundation does offer bounties in tokens and also stablecoin tokens to be able to support the development of that effort, because we know it does take work and it has to be put into the development roadmap of the team there. And as far as El Salvador setting up a domain, I would love that to happen. Obviously, there's different things that we can do independently, but it'd be more interesting if the government themselves were to support an initiative like that. And those are the type of conversations that we're certainly would love to have and continuing. We always open any connections that you have in those different areas to keep the conversations going and hit it from multiple angles as well. But thank you so much for the great questions we had today. I think that about wraps up our time. Any other topics or discussions we want to hit right before we end? I think that's it then. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We did record this. I'm not exactly sure, David, if we're decided if we're going to publish it, but we'll keep you posted. Definitely stay on our email list. Follow us at Join FIO on Twitter. Join our Discord, which is our major connection point for our community. That's where you can ask questions to the team and get direct answers any time of the day or night. I really appreciate you joining us today and hope that was an informative update for you all. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you next time.